Hi, Keller ISD. Welcome to Kickstart Your Learning for November. Today's theme is Fall in Love with Canvas. We love us a good theme here at Educational Technology, and fall is almost here, semi here. The mornings and the evenings are certainly getting cooler. Afternoons are still pretty warm, which I love the sunshine, so that's great. But we are excited to share some tips on Canvas today that will hopefully help you fall in love with this resource. If you weren't aware, as a district K-12, we've adopted Canvas as a learning management system or learning management tool. And our kiddos and teachers in K4 also have the option to use Seesaw, but lots of you are using Canvas. And so we thought, what better way to share some tips with you in November of ways that you might love it even more or help you fall in love with it for the first time. If you found us for this training, we would love for you to chat with us during the training. So the way that you chat with us is you use the chat window. If you're using a computer, it's on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're using your phone, the chat's typically below the video feed. Your chat, if you chat with us today, those are the people or individuals that we'll give credit to and strive for attending the training. So you're definitely going to want to chat with us today, and we will throw out a few engaging questions to keep you on track while we are showing you ways to love Canvas. If you do not see the chat window, it's possible that you need to create your YouTube channel in Keller ISD. This is 3 easy steps to complete. So I'm going to walk you through them and then I'm going to repeat them just to give you time to do the steps. And a quick refresh will open up that chat window for you. So to create your chat window in your YouTube, you're going to click on your avatar, which should be in the top right of your screen. Usually it's your profile image. However, in YouTube, our profile images don't always show because of the educational accounts that we have. So it should be like a grayed out circle like you can see in this slide right here. And once you click on your profile, you're going to click Create a Channel. If you don't see the Create a Channel option, you already have a channel. So just look for your chat window, maybe by refreshing. After you click Create a Channel, you're going to click Create Channel in the window that pops up. And finally, all you'll need to do is refresh or return to www.kellerisd.net/kickstart, which is exactly the way you found us today. So I'll repeat those. It's your profile circle in the top right, and remember the image is grayed out. Create a channel. Next is create channel. And then oftentimes you will need a refresh for that chat window to refresh next to the video feed. So take a few seconds and get that YouTube chat window going and let us know you're here. Let us know what school you teach at and what content you teach. And during the chat sometime today, throw in one way you love Canvas. All right, today we have some teachers joining us, and we're so excited about them getting to share with you how they love Canvas because you can hear it from our team all day long, but sometimes when you hear it from the teachers, it makes it even better. So today we have Erin Berg from Indian Springs Middle School. She teaches math. We also have Terry Mullins. She teaches our virtual learning classes in middle school. And then we have Ashley, myself, and Sandy. And we're all going to pitch in to share a little bit about what we love about Canvas. All right, Erin, I'm going to let you take this away.
Good afternoon. I hope y'all all had a wonderful day. I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about how I set up my agendas on my Canvas page. So this is a quick overview. I set it up with a table and then link pages to each daily agenda, which is the screen on the right. So I want to go live with my Canvas so y'all can see exactly how I structure it. My Canvas page is that normal page that y'all see. And then, oh, I I just clicked the wrong button. I am so sorry, y'all. Let me go back.
You're good,
Um,
Erin. Take your time. You're absolutely fine.
Um, so it's our normal screen that the district puts out for us, and it goes to that home screen. And I've created this blue button that says daily agenda and calendar. And when I click that button, or when my students click that button, it goes to the 9 weeks. Since we've started our second 9 weeks, I have a button up here that will go to my previous 9 weeks if they need anything there. And you'll notice all the blue links on the date. There is a button for each day of the week and then the topic. So they can go in if they're absent or want refreshers or need extra copies of notes and click on the day. When you click on the day, then it will give them the agenda for that whole day. And I post notes here, any videos that I may have made for my students, going over those notes, and then I have a link for their assignment for that day. Any reminders, you have a test coming up, things like that. And I feel like my kids have a better condensed version by using pages versus modules. But you use whatever you love. I love doing it this way, and it makes sense in my math brain to do it like this. Next up, Ashley is going to share with you some other things she loves about Canvas.
So while Ashley's sharing her screen, Erin, thank you first of all for being here. We appreciate you sharing that so much. I love the organization of your method. I love that if my student's out, I know exactly where to go to get the lesson, the homework. It's a no-brainer for me as a parent. And I know it's helping keeping your students more organized in the classroom.
Thank you so much. I hope that it helps someone, give them some inspiration to try something new. And if anybody needs any help, I'm always here to help along with all of y'all.
All right. Hello. Today I'm going to share all about differentiation tags. So differentiation tags are I'm so sorry. Differentiation tags is a tool that Canvas uses as features to allow instructors to, I'm sorry, I'm trying to move, learning how to use this too. Design instructors to create custom sets of students within a course. So these sets are hidden from student view. So they're solely for you to help make your life a little easier as you're assigning activities in Canvas. So the way you do this is you go to whichever course you are working on in Canvas and select people. Once you are here, you will see above people, there's a blue button that says tag as. And if you don't have any differentiation tags yet, that's not a problem. You're just going to click the button new tag. Then you're going to create your tag. Again, these tags are not visible to students. And so it does tell you right in the screen in the middle that the tags are not visible, which I think is extremely helpful. That way kids don't know what you're doing. So for this example, my tag name was just extra time. I'm going to, in my settings, once I create this tag, give those students additional days to complete their work based on their 504s or their IEPs. And then I just added that as a single tag set. And I apologize if you can hear this. We are at KIC right now, and they are having a large CTE expo. So your next step is going to be to select the students you want to tag once this tag is created. So what you will do is you will go and you'll see on my screen on the right that I just check marked a couple people on our team and then just tagged them as that extra time. The tag itself doesn't do anything right at that point, but it groups those students together into a group called extra time. So the next thing you will do is I created a sample tag assignment. So I went to my modules and I just created an assignment and then I clicked edit. From here, when you go to the assign to section, I selected extra time. Some really common sample tags that Canvas has shared are extra time. You can tag your students in the special ed program. You can tag your gifted learners, your tier 2 students, your tier 3 students, your 504 students, even students with oral administration. And what this does is it can help you add different things, or if you're looking in your grade book, you can actually filter by those students. So if you're specifically looking how your tier 2 or tier 3 students are doing, you can filter to those tags. So anywhere there is an assign to option, not just in an activity, you can create a tag that, whether that's in the inbox sending messages, in modules, in pages, in quizzes, anything that has that assign to button. And last but not least, what I want to share about the tag set or tags are that you can create a tag set. So let's say you have a big project coming up and I have a calculus project. So my tag set can be calculus project, but then I can tag groups. So I can say group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. And that way, if they're all working on different things or different moving parts in the project, I can assign to those specific groups of students. So differentiation tags are a wonderful feature that just will make your life a little easier, and one of our favorite things to share about Canvas. So now we are going to move on to Christy talking about YouTube.
Thanks, Ashley. And Canvas tags are new this year. So prior to differentiation tags in Canvas, we got really creative with like naming our sections because students could see the name of the section. But yay, Canvas, for putting in something like differentiation tags that makes it easier as a teacher to provide the differentiation you need to for all of your students. All right, we're going to talk about YouTube. Here we go. I have all the instructions for embedding a YouTube into your Canvas course here, and we're going to give you the link to these slides later. In addition, this link right here is a link to our official how-to embed YouTube videos into Canvas. But I'm also going to take this out a little further and just demonstrate it while I'm talking. So we love our YouTube videos, especially our ones that are sound educational material, but our students can't watch them unless we embed them in Canvas. So how do you do that? It's super easy once you know the steps. It's just learning the steps. And that way your students will be able to watch YouTube videos either at a station or at home doing homework or in class with headphones, however you want them to utilize the video. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to find your great educational video and you're going to vet it as a source. You're going to make sure that it is quality material. Once you do, you will notice under your video that you have a share button. This is where you start to get the embed code for that video. When I click share, my first choice is embed. So I'm going to click embed because Canvas accepts embed code for most things. This is my very technical embed code. Don't ask me to explain any of that to you. But I do have to scroll down on this menu and click Enable Privacy Enhanced Mode. That is what allows it to play in the Canvas instance. Now, if you do not see the Enable Privacy Enhanced Mode button here, that means the content creator does not allow it to be embedded in something. And that's most likely because they're making money off the video. So you will probably have to choose something different. But if you can privacy enhance it, you can come back up here and you can click on your code and you can copy it. And then you are basically done with the YouTube part of it. You're going to go into your Canvas and you can put this on a page, an assignment, a quiz, or a discussion. So a video can go on any Canvas item. You're going to click edit on your page, or I have a page here. If this were, if I needed to put any instructions or type anything for my students, I could do that anywhere on this page by using all of my other content editing tools. But to get a code in here, I'm going to go down just a bit. I'm going to insert embed. It's a little cloud tool. See if I can get it. That's called embed. So I'm going to click on it. It's very easy. I'm going to paste my code and I'm going to click submit. And now you'll see I have 2 water cycle videos on this page. I save it or save and publish it so my students can see it. And now these videos will play in Canvas. Now, I do need to warn you that as of around October 3rd, YouTube changed its YouTube for Education configurations. And ads are now playing in YouTube videos for education, even when we embed them into Canvas. So be careful. At the end of the video, it will suggest next videos to watch. But if that video is not embedded on the Canvas page, it's going to try to open a new tab for the student to watch it, and then our browser will block it. So you don't have to worry about what it suggests as a next video, but do know that you will see the occasional ad. So that's YouTube videos. And I actually get to talk about something else today too. And this is something else that our teachers love. So in the chat, tell me if being able to embed a YouTube video in Canvas makes your lives a little easier. And if you might use that in your classroom. Next, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and I'm going to talk about Google assignments in Canvas. We know if a lot of you were elementary teachers and maybe even lower middle school, you use quite a bit of Google Classroom, which is no longer accessible to you in the district. One thing that might make your life much easier is something called a Google assignment. So Google Assignments is really a standalone product from Google Classroom that is allowed to work in Canvas and other learning management systems. And so I want to teach you real quick how to access this. Again, the directions are here. And on both of these slides, we have links to the Google Assignments how-tos that are official for our district. So I'm going to show you how to do it in Canvas. All right, so I'm in my module and I have my Google assignment here. This was my practice one, and we will just make a new one. So the first thing you're going to need to do is create an assignment. And we'll name this practice. And we're going to add it. And then when we go to open it, to edit it, we're going to see we get that same assignment window that you always have. If you need to, you're going to put instructions for your students here. You might put a great YouTube video or a graphic or whatever your students need for this assignment. You're going to give it its points if it's a graded assignment. And we're going to come down here to submission type. And we're going to click on external tool. This is a Google tool that Canvas allows to be used inside their product. So it's called an external tool. In order to find it, we're going to click on the Find button, and we're going to scroll down until we see Google Assignments LTI 1.3, and we're going to open it using that link. If you've never connected your Canvas and Google accounts, it's going to make you link, and sometimes it makes me link when I have linked my accounts. So sometimes that's just what it does. It actually opened a new window, so I'm going to do a new share. And here is my basic Google assignment window. And you're going to recognize this from creating Google assignments in Google Classroom. This is where I can attach a file that will create a copy for each of my students. That's probably the part you're most excited about. Or if I want my students to create starting from new, I can say what type of document that my students are allowed to start creating for the assignment. So once I choose that, I need to decide how I want to grade. I can grade by the Google Assignment Grader, which you're probably very familiar with, or I can grade with Canvas Speed Grader, also a great grading tool. And then I click Create. And I will need to share again. One very important step is that you hit the Select button. If you don't hit Select here, it won't keep your assignment. But once I hit Select, I see that link to my assignment, and I click Save and Publish, or just save if I'm not ready for my students to see it. And eventually it would populate a window right here. It's just taking some time. And in that window, as my students complete their assignments, I will see a link to each of their assignments pop in there, very similar to Google. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, I did tell it to load in a new window. So that's why it wasn't loading on Canvas. Terry, I see Terry shaking her head. She's the Canvas expert. She knew right away. So my student names would begin populating here as they finish the assignment, and I would click to grade them, and it would grade in whatever grader I chose in the beginning. So that's Google Assignments. I hope you love it. Give it a try. It's a lot of steps, but I know that once you do it once, it's going to be very familiar to you and you'll be able to use it. So tell us in the chat if you might use Google Assignments. And with that, Terry, I think I'm passing to you for quizzes. And would you like me to show
Okay.
slides?
I think I can show it in my window.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's try this. Is that showing up?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Try. Oh, it actually says you've started screen sharing. But try one more time, maybe.
All right. Stop share. Maybe, Christy, if you don't mind, go ahead and
Not at
share
all.
yours. Thank
Not
you.
at all. Here
You'll
we
just have
go.
to put up with me saying next.
I would gladly do that.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about the new quizzes in Canvas. Thank you for listening today. Hopefully this will help save you a little bit of time and maybe enrich what you're doing with your students. I first want to share with you that research supports frequent quizzing of students. That helps them retain the information. It helps you see gaps in information. And then it's a way, if your students are using Canvas a lot, it's a way to keep them engaged in the learning process. Next slide. There are several options for new quizzes in Canvas, and there's 12 in new quizzes. And I want to encourage you to use the new quizzes instead of classic quizzes because there are so many more options in that. So once you go and build a quiz, you're going to choose the new quizzes and you'll select that. And you've got to click that blue button to say build so that you can get into creating your question types. All right, next slide, please. So file upload is one of your choices, and it is pretty standard. But what's nice is, let's say you had an assignment and you told the kids, okay, you've got a couple of days to work on it. I'll let you turn it in when we have our quiz. And so at that point, you could say, now it's time for you to attach that file that you were working in, and you can even lock down what type of file they submit to you. So you could even say, I just want a PDF. Next slide, please. And then I think we're all used to multiple choice, multiple answer, numeric, and true false. Those are standard question types that I think we're used to. Next slide, please. Categorization is kind of fun. You can set up 2 categories, 3 categories, however many you like, and then you can ask the students to move the items into their appropriate category. I always think it's nice to throw in a few distractors that don't really fit into a category. That helps the students think a little bit more deeply. Next slide, please. Formula is a lot of fun. Essentially, you set up a word problem and then you provide the formula that calculates the result. And you can generate many different questions and answers so that every student can see a different question and have a different answer. So that really helps if you've got kids who really like to say, oh, you know, on that word problem about the shoes, the answer's 15. Well, it's not going to be 15 for everybody. Next slide, please.
I'm just going to say you just blew my mind. I did not
Oh,
know that. That is so cool.
it's very powerful. And then matching, I think it's always fun to throw in a few distractors on matching. Again, especially if it's something that should be common knowledge, you've got some different names in there and it gets people to thinking, well, maybe that could fit in there. But I think distractors are a good thing to add. Next slide, please. Ordering, that's a good way for you if you want students to know how to do things in a sequence or a priority. Think of timelines, and then the students simply drag and drop the items into the correct order. Next slide, please. Essay is a beautiful thing because it provides for the student the rich content editor, and they have access to spell check. And think of how many students you have who have accommodations for using spell check. It's right there. It's accommodated for them already. I like to tell the students you need to provide at least 3 sentences, and I need to see at least 30 words or whatever, however many words I want. I like to do a minimum on the number of words, and then the students can see that as they're typing in their answers. Next slide, please. Fill in the blank. I haven't used fill in the blank a lot because of thinking about the issue with typing, but the nice thing in the new quizzes is that you could provide the students with a drop-down menu of the answers, or you could even have a word bank. So correct spelling is not an issue, although you can still do that if it's like a spelling question. Next slide, please. Hotspot is great for helping identify things on an image. So you upload the image, and then in what you see here on this screen, I've drawn a circle around the portion of the image that's the right answer. And when students are taking the test, they'll have a much smaller, sorry, just a second.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. So when on the student side, they just have a small little, their mouse, just as long as they click inside of what you've drawn, that will get that correct for them. Next slide, please. I like to remind people about the settings and how powerful those are inside of Canvas quizzes. And there are ways that we can set up to prevent students from cheating. One good way is to password protect your quizzes. And I like to sometimes even change the passwords in between class periods or in between days or things like that. I like to time limit those quizzes if it's a summative quiz, because if students realize they're able to get into a password protected quiz and then they'll close their laptops and go finish it someplace else where they're not being monitored, that's a way for them to cheat. So I like to limit the time on that. Canvas has a thing where you can detect multiple sessions. So if students open up their quiz 2 times on their same computer, it will flag that. You can see it and the students see it. And so they know that you are aware that they've tried to open up a screen to copy off of that, of that same quiz. I do limit the number of times students can take a quiz. On a summative, I tell them they've got 2 attempts at it, and I record the average grade, because I found many times if they're given 2 attempts and I record the highest grade, well, that first time they're going to copy down, take screenshots of those questions, and all the fun stuff. So anyway, I make them do an average on that. And then on a summative, I don't show them any of their results. If I have a mini quiz or a formative, I might show them their answers, and if it was right or wrong after their last attempt, I'll show it 1 time. Next slide, please. And then just a plug for using due dates. Due dates are just great because whenever you set those up, it's going to go on their Canvas calendar, and the students can see if they've got several courses in Canvas, they're going to be color coded. So they can look at their Canvas calendar and see what they've got for each day of the month. And they've often mentioned how this really helps them stay well organized. And then also you can set it up so that if students miss a due date, then that assignment gets marked as a 0 and they get a red missing. And those are really helpful for helping students stay on track. Next slide, please. And then there are multiple feedback options, and I think feedback's really handy. Next slide, please. I like to provide feedback in SpeedGrader. And I really love using the comment library in Canvas. I do probably 7 or 8 different comments in the comment library. And so those are the things that you're going to be typing over and over again. And I keep that comment library fairly short because you can open it up, just click on the one you want, and then submit. And it's just so much faster than typing in all of those words over and over again. And because that comment library is so easy to use, I'll get rid of ones that I'm not using for maybe this assignment and add in new ones, and then I'll go change it up later when that's needed. Next slide, please. And then I've also started on summatives. I will do custom feedback so that when the students finish their quiz, it will come back and it tells them a district policy for retest. And so encouraging them, well, if you didn't get a 70 or above, then you need to go restudy this, and then I'll email you later when it's time for you to take the retest. Next slide, please. And then if you're interested in seeing what some of these different quiz question types look like, I do have a sample Canvas course. You're welcome to take a look at that and see. There's a sample quiz in there that's got a bunch of different question types, just so you can see what it looks like from the student perspective. I think sometimes that's kind of helpful for us as teachers to get a feel for what they're going through. But that is the end of my portion. Thank you.
Y'all, Carrie is an expert in Canvas. I highly recommend if you're wanting to learn, take this little sample course she put together and reach out to her. She's amazing. Okay, Sandy's going to keep us organized in the grade book.
All right. Glad you are here tonight. Sorry if my voice feels a little off. I'm a little under the weather, but I couldn't pass up this opportunity to come talk to you about some things that I like to do in the gradebook to help keep organized, but also provide some good feedback to students as well. So one of the things that we can do is you can go to your settings in the gradebook, and you can personalize your gradebook for how you want to set it up. So you can rearrange how the assignments are presented. You could do it by modules. You could do it by due date. You could do it by alphabetical, just however you choose to see assignments in your gradebook. You can also hide the unpublished assignments. I know right now the default is when you open your gradebook, you might have assignments that are not published yet, or you don't want the students to see them. Well, they won't see them until they're published, but you don't want to see them, and it just makes your gradebook cluttered. So you can actually hide those where you do not see them. You can also filter, and you can grade by sections. You can grade by your differentiation tags. You can grade by modules. So there's a lot of different ways that you can filter in the gradebook. So Christy, can you go to the next slide? You can also apply some late points if you like, but also you can have it to where it automatically gives a 0 for a missing assignment. You can change your colors of the options for late to personalize for how you would like to recognize those. And then one of my favorite features is that message students who. And I'm going to share my screen so I can kind of show you some of these options. 1 second. Oh, right. So this is my gradebook, and your settings is in the top right corner. And when you click on this, you go to view options, and this is where you can choose the arrange by button. And so you can choose how you want your assignments to appear in the gradebook. This is where you will uncheck if you do not want to see your unpublished assignments. You can also choose this notes button, and what that will do is it will create a column where it's just notes for you. So you can make notes about students, whether they have a 504 IEP, or whether you want to make a note that they're going to be out of town this week, or anything to help you remember about that student. Students don't see them. It's just really notes for you in the gradebook. And then this is where you can also change the colors for the late, missing, or resubmitted for whatever you like. And then right here, if you click on late policies, if you click automatically apply, this is where you can automatically apply that a 0 is for a missing assignment. When you have an assignment, if you hover over it, these 3 dots will appear. And if you click on those 3 dots, you get a lot more options available to you. But the one that I want to highlight now is message students who. If you click this, then you have options to message students who haven't submitted, who did submit, who maybe scored less than or more than. And one of the things that I like to do is, if a student scored less than 70, you can click on this. You can choose. If students got below a 70, you can also click that for an observer to get the email as well. And then type a message that says, hey, I saw that you were struggling on an assignment. Please plan to come in for tutorials. You can also provide positive feedback as well. You can choose score more than, and you can say, hey, you did really well on this assignment. Thanks for putting in the effort. And so I think this is a great way to provide some positive feedback as well, but also save you time that you don't have to go searching all the grades and figuring out, okay, well, who do I need to email because they need help? And this just pulls it right up there for you. So those are a couple of things that I like about the gradebook and to help you keep organized. So thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you coming. We hope you pick up a couple of tips that could help you in the classroom. Also, please follow us on our social medias where we post tips and tricks and upcoming PD that we have. And then we also have our KIC digital learning site that posts some really good resources for various digital tools that we use in the district. And if you would like a copy of this presentation, there is the bit.ly for you that you can copy down and access the presentation as well. So again, we thank you for being here and have a great night.